It's Tuesday, August 24th, 2010. I'm Kevin McShan, and this is the McShan Sports Beat Report. Innovation is the ability to see change and opportunity and having the wherewithal and fortitude to capitalize on it when it presents itself. The National Hockey League is taking every opportunity to grow, expand, revolutionize, and innovate their game this week at the World Hockey Summit. At the top of the agenda on Monday was a debate between NHL players, broadcasters, and prominent front office executives where they compared and contrasted the playing surface in both the North American and European games. The panel included Daniel Alfredsson, the captain of the Ottawa Senators, Glen Healy, a retired goalie turned broadcaster, and Bob McCown, a radio host in Toronto. In addition to the big ice, small ice conundrum, the panel also discussed the role of fighting and the possibility of forming a Champions League, which would pin the best North American teams against the best teams from Europe. The size of the ice surface was the central issue on everyone's mind and dominated much of the discussion had on Monday as the panel continues to debate the pros and cons of both options and what's best for the league moving forward. Alfredsson, a native of Gothenburg, Sweden, who grew up playing on a larger ice surface in Europe, says that he's in favor of the current smaller ice surface the NHL currently utilizes because it suits his style of play more efficiently. I like the smaller rink because it suits my style, Alfredsson said during Monday night's session of the summit at the Hockey Hall of Fame. The NHL ice is 200 feet by 85 feet, while the European ice is 15 feet larger. However, Alfredsson says that the European ice has its advantages as well and has helped him develop several of the skills he uses to be successful on the NHL level. You develop your skating and puck handling skills on the bigger surface. You kind of have a more all-around game, he said. However, McCown contends that NHL rinks were originally built for players averaging 5'7" and 150 pounds, and today's NHL player averages 6'4" and 220 pounds. He says the smaller ice surface doesn't give players an equal opportunity to showcase all of their skills. He says that a possible remedy to the situation could be for the league to adopt a transitional period which will allow them to use the same ice surface currently used by the Europeans. He argues that the NHL went through a similar process several years ago when they adopted the current ice surface format. Opinions over the issue of fighting were just as wide-ranging. Alfredsson said he was surprised to see just how accepted fighting actually was in the North American game during its first training camp with the Senators. I was surprised to see guys fight. I wondered why they were so mad, he said. Healy says he endorses fighting in hockey, even though he was a self-proclaimed 0-6 during fights in his career. McCown says the league needs to adopt a similar system of discipline than in other major sports leagues that fine, suspend, or even eject players that would get into altercations both on and off the ice. The Champions League concept originated from the current tournament format used to determine the European club champion in soccer. However, members of the panel were less receptive to pairing the best North American team against the best European team in order to determine the best team in the world other than in an Olympic format. However, Alfredsson says he would cherish the opportunity to witness the best NHL team go up against the best European team in order to determine the best in the world. However, he says the appropriate format has to be determined before any talk of a Champions League can begin. It has to be meaningful, Alfredsson said. It just can't be one game when the season starts. It has to be a tournament that means something. If it is, it'll definitely help the game, and it's something to strive for, he said. You have to applaud the NHL for being out on the forefront on a number of issues which will hopefully market, grow, and strengthen the game from a domestic, international, and global standpoint. It's certainly refreshing to see and a stark contrast from business as usual. So we'll see if the NHL can back up these encouraging words with some legitimate action and bring change to a league that could use a facelift. Kevin McShan, McShan Sports Beat Report.